What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Hope y'all are doing well. Been a busy week. Lots of G.I. Joe Classified news, Marvel Legends news, Mafex DC news, and of course McFarlane Toys news. So let's get into it. Let's see what everybody's up to. Hope everyone is having a great day. First off, before I get started, thank you to everybody who came and hung out with us last night for Lyles Movie Files. It was really fun interacting with y'all. 80s kids from the 90s, Blake, Stickman, Digital Diarrhea. It's really great hanging out with y'all. And welcome to another edition here tonight. So let's see what's going on. 80s kid from the 90s. What's up, brother? Skew Raider representing for the replay crew live and in time. Welcome to Cheers, everyone. Hit the like button. James Green, what's going on? What's up, good people? What's up? What's up, man? I hope you're doing well out there. Kidred, what's up? What pickup did y'all get this week? I got a lot of stuff. I'm gonna break them down real soon, including the Silverhawks Quicksilver long shot retro X-Men Marvel Legends figure. What else did I get? I got the Power Town, Magnum TA, Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen. I don't know if you guys checked out the video I did of Magnum. Just posted it today. I was excited to get him, and he did not disappoint. JT the Grind in the building. What's up? Kidrick wants to know, have I heard of this fan theory for the MCU? It's about the Department of Damage Control. Since they confiscate all the alien tech, like from the Chitauri and Thanos Black Order. People believe they might create the Sentinels. That'd be interesting because we still haven't introduced the X-Men, and I'm trying to figure out why they have not done that yet. But that could work. That'd be kind of interesting. Maybe they'll have Trask as part of damage control, and he'll spin off and go, I'm going to make something to stop these mutants before they start popping up and causing real problems. 80s kids from the 90s, my first classified series figure. You got Falcon, yes? Afton Child, what's up? Blake, what's up? What's good, Jeffrey? Great live last night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was really fun, and they were all loving talking about it with you guys last night on the chat. What's up with this new Superman face? Yeah. We're gonna talk about that. I don't know what the heck that was. I don't know what was going on. Lefty Two Lions BK. Jeff, always coming through with a discount intel. Thank you. I'm glad you guys were able to take advantage of that. All those sales coming through, and for those of you in the DMV area, stay tuned to the channel. I may pop up, post a little bit when they're free screenings that you can attend in the area, so you can check it out. You got Classified Falcon. It's awesome. I'm glad that you like him. There's so many people that don't, so I'm really happy to hear that you like him. Nolan, what's going on? James, seeing that Power Town review was great. Good job. Thank you. That was my first video unboxing, and it was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm making too much noise. How does everybody speed through opening and getting all the stuff done? It was fun, so expect to see a lot more of those coming down the road real soon. G Suplex, thoughts on the new No Way Home 3-pack? Seems like people are enjoying it, and I know people are probably not going to enjoy it as much once those single figures come out with the Garfield, Maguire, and Holland Spider-Man, and they're showing their heads, and you can see the unmasked portraits of them. But for now, it seems like people enjoy them. I've seen a lot of really cool, colorful pictures and cool posts of people just showing off their figures and coming up with different ways to display 3 Spider-Man. So that's cool. Kelly, what's going on? 80s Kids from the 90s. I recommend checking my review, Jeff. It's my best video so far. I will check it out for sure. Jeff, what's up? That is wild. You also have a brother named Jason. Love your videos on G.I. Joe. Nice. That's pretty cool. Cheers, good sir, to you. Being a fine figure. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Afton Child. Am I remembering right that Peter Damon was the guy who created the Sentinels in the X-Men movie? I don't know why I'm blanking on Tyrion Lannister's name. Peter Dinklage. That was his name. Blake says, Jeffrey, you're going to talk about the latest leaked Marvel Legends wave and that blurry unknown last figure. You better believe it, sir. They are on the agenda, the docket tonight. I'm definitely talking about them. Kedrick, for Mattel and Power Town wrestling figures, there are a ton they will never do like Chris Benoit. I feel like Benoit and maybe Superfly Snuka are probably the only ones that we can safely say are off limits. There's so many people who've done some real shady stuff, who've gotten figures made, and they're still getting figures made. So I think Benoit is for sure the never touch him. And maybe as some time passes, Jimmy Superfly Snuka may get another figure, but I wouldn't bet on anytime soon. Jay Woods, good evening, everyone. Jeffrey, thoughts on the Niners starting quarterback next season? I'll say this, and I will continue to say this until I am cowboy blue in the face. I don't care who the quarterback is. I just care who the quarterback is that makes me go 6 rings for the Niners. It could be Sam Darnold. I don't care. I love it to be somebody we drafted, you know, Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, but my choice is whoever gets that 6th ring on Niner fans' metaphorical hands. Hidrick, you can't blame them for why. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because Benoit for sure cannot have another figure. I still get weirded out when I watch his stuff. He's like the hardest one for me to separate the wrestler, the character I see on TV versus what I know this guy does. And it sucks because he did so much great stuff in the ring. But just, stuff was getting wild with him in real life. 80s kids from the 90s. I'm hoping we get a Hot Toys Fury. We have several. They've made some. He was one of my first. You don't need Hot Toys figures. Oh, yes, I do. And then it was all downhill at that point. But yeah, he's good. After Child. So somebody take a clear photo of Nick Fury and Kingpin for the next Disney Plus. Got it. He will be on here very soon. Henry G. What's up, Jeff? And a Superman head. That Superman head might go down as the worst head sculpt at least of this year. And it might be in the running for like the last 5 years. But geez, I don't know what happened and why that got the approval because it's not good. Ocean Views 888. What's up? How are you out there? How awesome does that Hot Toys King look? Super awesome. Super, super awesome. Jimmo Grillo. Broncos on pace for a 40-plus touchdown season. We're good. Yeah. And oh my gosh, I'm so blown still thinking about that NFC Championship game. That is my biggest Niner game. What if now? It used to be, what if Garrison Hurst didn't tear his ACL in that Atlanta game? But now I'm like, oh gosh, we had those dudes, and we were going to figure out a way to beat KC this time because everybody's going to be pissed, get a rematch against them. Or what if Emmanuel Sanders didn't think Jimmy G wasn't going to complete another deep pass to him, so he slowed up. Anyway, we'll get on to it. I'm assuming you're asking, am I a Golden State fan? No, I'm an 80s kid that got into sports, so my allegiance is to the Lakers and, the Washington Bullets. Wizards were basically never good, so I was like, I'm going to find another team. So that's what happened. Blake wants to know my top 5 Marvel comic artists of all time. All right, let's see. This should be really easy. Let's see where I can go with this off the top of my head. You can't start a Marvel Comics greatest of all time list without mentioning Jack Kirby, the great, the king Kirby. His stuff's just amazing. And then right after him, I got to go with George Perez. I mean, the guy's stuff is amazing. I'm reading these old Avengers issues. I'm like, I didn't know he did this. And he just does everything so great, or did everything so great. And I just love reading anything that he drew because it just looks amazing. All right, so those are easy ones. I gotta feel like I'm gonna go Spider-Man heavy and go John Romita. I mean, his stuff is classic. When you think of Spider-Man, I think for a lot of people, he's the definitive Spider-Man artist. Really great. I'm trying to think where else do I want to go. I've got a few more slots left. I feel like this might be sort of recency bias for me. Recency being in late 80s. I feel like Jim Lee's style came and was such a breath of fresh air at the time. It was so dramatic and so dynamic. I know compared to some other stuff now, it's like, Jim Lee was all right. But for me, it was like, whoa, this is amazing. This stuff is great. Who would I go with my 5th choice, though? Man, I feel like there's so many great choices. Please let me know what you go with. I may go with Joe Mad just because I loved his style. And I know that's weird for a top 5 all-time Marvel artists, but at the top of my head, those are my guys. So King, Kirby, Romita, Perez, Jim Lee, Joe Majora. So I don't know. Fully up for debate, and we'll see what happens with it. Henry G, 6 rings. You mean like the Pats? I mean, yeah. I'm so annoyed that they not only got to 5, but then they got 6, and then that hater Brady got 7 rings. But hopefully soon enough. Jay Woods, the league Marvel Legends has a Marvel's Goliath. What are your thoughts, Bill Foster? I believe so. If you want me to spoil it, I know what it's supposed to be. Let me know in the comments if you want to know. I won't say it until you guys say yes. Lost in Wireless. Why did that Superman head sculpt get the nod as an action figure packaging artist? Who has to? He's the art director at every turn. I just don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I get what they were trying to do. Smiling Superman seems like a great idea. I don't quite understand why they would put a smiling Superman in the same set as Super Mad, Super Intense, Ultraman anyway. You shouldn't be happy to see Ultraman, but it's just weird. Law 80s kids from the 90s. I watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure for the first time today. It was excellent. Nice. Which Superman head sculpt are you referring to? All right, let me pull this up since this has become such a great, tremendous source of controversy here. A little bit way below where I had stuff going, but we're flexible on this show. Let's get on to it. All right. So what I'm talking about is this atrocity of a Superman head sculpt. This is for the Superman versus Superman of Earth 3 with Atomica DC Multiverse 7-inch figures 2-pack that is shipping in July. You know, Todd didn't have us wait too long. He's got figures coming. It's like, check it out. You're not going to wait anytime. They're coming real soon. So this Ultraman looks really great. I think he's intense. We still don't have one with the eyes actually closed and, you know, just eyes open. He's fired up. He's about to throw some heat vision, but it's not a great. He looks fine. This does not. I don't know what happened. This is just bad on every conceivable level. I mean, Superman looks like he has been stuffing his face with 24 boxes of Krispy Kremes. He still has a dozen in his mouth. He's smirking because Lois caught him. And he's like, oh, shoot, you got me. I got all these donuts in my mouth. I don't get it. The body is too bulky for Superman anyway. And it's just kind of like, I don't like this mold for Superman. I think they need to come up with a sleeker, muscular version, but it's not a great body. Here's Ultraman. He looks great. I feel like he's so much everything that Superman isn't, this Ultraman is. He looks like he is ready to tangle. I just wish he had a different head sculpt so he's not constantly pissed off at the rest of the crime syndicate. But here's another look at Superman, at Goofy Superman. His proportions just look a little bit too off. Maybe if he was in classic colors, it would look a little bit different where we had the red trunks there. He just looks like he needs to go on a super diet. And this head sculpt, he just looks creepy. Like, hey, don't go into this alley with this Superman. He looks off. It's not a good look for Superman. Ultraman looks a little bit better proportion, like I said, and everything that's wrong with this Superman, I feel like Ultraman has it better. Like his waist area is thinner. You know, that has a little gap, but I feel like it's okay compared to what we would get with this, where it's just like, no, thank you. This is what the set looks like. The set looks pretty cool. You can see the wreckage of a very tiny, very small Daily Planet globe, and I think that's a really nice base for him. You can see here Atomica. She has zero articulation and movement, but it's kind of cool that they included her in here anyway. But I mean, there's just no way they make Superman look good in this set. He's just smiling like a goofball, and Ultraman looks like he's going to murder that bum. So I really don't understand what happened, but I'm just not a fan of how that turned out. And I don't think a lot of you guys are either. Afton Child, I really like the McFarlane Blue Beetle wave for the movie. Yeah, it's really good. I think those turned out exceptionally well. Same, brother, with you, Gorillo. Agreed. Being a final figure, India in the 80s was the best. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like I can appreciate what's going on. I mean, the NBA is wild. I love the fact that every offseason, every trade deadline, every season, they're just like trades that just shake up the whole league. And I love the NBA for that. We never get that in the NFL, but man, today was wild. Jay Woods, John Buscema. Yeah. Is that who your avatar is? Is that the art from him? He's another one. He was like really there. I was like, if I got to choose between an Avengers artist, I'm going to go with him. John Byrne. Yeah. Bad me. Take Joe Majura off the list. Put in John Byrne. I don't know how in the world I forgot him. Neil Adams. Another good choice. Todd McFarlane. Ditto. All right, 80s kids. Who you got? Kirby, Ditko, Bendis, Lee, and whoever did King Dynasty. Huh. Man, now you got me thinking. I think there were a bunch of artists on that. I think Alan Davis did some chapters of it, and then maybe Kieran Dyer did some of the rest of it. But yeah, Bendis is a writer. And I'd argue nowadays he's not too great of a writer. John Byrne is a GOAT. Yeah, he's really good. I don't even understand how I forgot to throw him in there. Jed McKay, yeah. John Byrne for the 80s when I was collecting back then, he was touching everything. I mean, yeah. X-Men, Fantastic Four, then Man of Steel or Superman. Yeah, I'm so wrong for not including him on that list. Miguel Perez, what do you think of the new Elite Wave from Marvel Legends? I was excited for the Goliath one, but the suit looks like the modernish one, which doesn't work for me. My Avengers stuff is 60s, 80s theme. Lawson says Jack Kirby, John Buscema, Ramita Sr., Perez, Steve Ditko, or Gene Colan. Some of my favorite artists from Marvel. Yeah, really solid. Really solid list. Prepping 1982. Hey, Jeff, how do you feel about McFarlane doing a package with 89 Batman with the Batmobile? Getting on to that one, too. Jimmy Gorillo. These are really too bad to get through. You're right. Yeah. Yes. Robert's Infinite Realms. Jeffrey. Joe's. How's it going? So many figures this week. So many. Henry G wants to know, hey, Jeff, do you collect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? So here's the thing. When Mutant Ninja Turtles were really big, I was starting to get away from the cartoons. And I was watching it just because it was one of the few cartoons that were left. I've never been like this hardcore Ninja Turtles fan, but I'm really jealous of how much stuff, how much product NECA's putting out for Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon fans. I'm like, maybe I should just binge this series because I feel like they're putting out so many deep dive characters with the cartoons. The figures look really great. I would look at them on the shelf and I'm like, wow, they look good. I will be having a review of the Playmates new Mutant Massacre series of figures because I got them and I'll be showing those off again, doing a video unboxing. So stay tuned for those. But yeah, in terms of other lines I collect, Transformers Legacy, I was really excited to see Bombshell. I feel like there's so few. I can't get excited about Transformers live stream because I'm going to be excited about maybe one. Then they're going to go on to different generations, different iterations of Transformers where I don't like it. I mean, I'm a G1 fan, but I think the other figures that they do look great. They're just not what I'm collecting. WWE, collecting those traditionally now, just more of the legends. I can't stand most of the modern product. It's just, I grew up watching 80s wrestling, love the storylines, the stuff they're doing now. It's like they're really athletic. I just can't get invested in the storylines. I'm rewatching 1987 WWF. They're building to WrestleMania 3, Hogan, Andre, the Piper's Pit Showdown. I'm like, this still gets me. This stuff now, outside of the bloodline, just doesn't really work for me. What else do I collect? AEW figures. They're kind of cool. What else? Power Town. Be collecting those for sure. Masterverse. I swore I wasn't going to get into that line, but I'm sucked in. Hot Toys, I kind of take advantage of sideshow collectibles sales when they have stuff on sale. So I'm getting the Captain Marvel in-game figure, Storm collectibles, Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. There's so many other fighting games that they get into, and I'm like, I would be interested in Samurai Showdown, Darkstalkers, Streets of Rage, but it's like I need them to finish some of the other ones they've started. 80s kids from the 90s wants to know, where's our Hush Superman we were promised? Superman looks like Tony from Brooklyn. Yeah, it's atrocious. Kelly Cox, OMG, absolutely. My first time seeing that head, that actually looks weird. It's so weird because they've done pretty decent head sculpts for figures, and I just don't know what happened. I feel like we're still waiting on a classic Superman head. Maybe a John Byrne, Neil Adams portrait where it would look like, yes, this is Superman. George Perez, Ivan Reyes. There's so many great Superman artists, and I don't know why we haven't gotten a great Superman head. Beyond that first one, I feel like the very first Action Comics 1000 Superman has been the best head sculpt of Superman figures we've gotten so far. Kelly Cox, that's terrible. You are correct. Happy Accident, what's up? Yo. Lawson, Ultraman is so much better, but it looks constipated. Well, if you're constipated, you would have that face too. Characters always scowling, look blocked up, like they've eaten too much cheese. Yeah, and Superman has it. That's why Ultraman is so pissed off. But yeah, I agree. I feel like Ultraman just needs another portrait where he's maybe just smirking or kind of got a little sneer going, where he's not so intense. Jake Woods says, looks like someone beat him with an ugly kryptonite stick, and there's no healing from that. Let's do Lions BK. That Superman 3-pack is instant peg bait. Yeah, I think it's going to sit there for a long time. I think if Ultraman was packed by himself or in a little 2-pack with Atomica, they would sell pretty quickly. That Superman is going to drag that set down. Kendrick, DC Multiverse figures have done Zod, but not Ursa yet. They did 2 figures of Ursula and Zod back in the early 2000s, and they look hanging out with Neo and Trinity from the Matrix. You know what? Yeah. What just the classic Superman 2 looks. I know they're not cool, and I know they're not even comic accurate from that era, but that's General Zod. That's Ursa. I want not. Make it a 3-pack. I would buy that right away. Kendrick wants to know, could Power Town do an Owen Hart figure? Don't think Mattel has right. They will not, solely because they are locked in lockstep with WWE. And Martha Hart wants absolutely nothing to do with the WWE. So she's not signing off on the likeness. AEW Jazzwares at least has some rights to Owen Hart. I know they're doing the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. They released some figures. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. He looks okay. I think their problem is the problem they're just going to face is they can't get a really great Owen Hart beyond his New Japan days, beyond his era where I feel like most of us don't really need figures for is like, hey, this is awesome, but what we really want, what we want to see is an Owen Hart from the Hart Foundation. Owen Hart, the King of Hearts. That's what he looks like. This is the Jazzwares ones. I mean, it's all right. It's a Stampede looking attire. I almost feel like if we got this, we could kind of put some custom decals, make him look like the King of Hearts, fighting Big Brother Brett after he kicked his leg out of his leg. But that's what the figure looks like. It's okay. I don't know how easy it's going to be to customize to fit into WWE Elite figures, but I guess it's close enough. Aftonchild wants to know, is this Goliath figure a Build-A-Figure or a figure you can buy and it is Hank or Bill Foster? I think the rumor is it's a regular size Goliath, and the Build-A-Figure, from what I've seen, is a Hydra Stomper that we don't need. What are the name of the 2 wrestlers that look like they hang out with Mad Max and Zartan? Oh, man, you got to help me out. Is this modern wrestlers or are you talking about the Headbangers? Because those guys would probably qualify. 80s kids from the 90s. We still need a Panther from Revelations. Yes. And Roberts helps me out. AEW's done 2 Owen Hart, so who knows? James, those new Street Fighter figures are fire. I've not seen these figures at any Target, and I've been going, I don't say every day, but every other day maybe, at least 3 times a week. I haven't seen peep one of these figures. I know Amazon has them, so I gotta track them down. The artist for Secret Invasion is the artist I was referring to. That was Leno Yu, I believe. He's really good. Miguel Perez, I just got the Black Widow Deluxe figure from her movie for her flight pole and explosion pieces. Yeah, my girlfriend took Black Widow for her side. Can't wait to get the new figure for Black Widow. She looks great. I can't wait to get that figure. Lefty T Lions BK, I wonder if McFarlane has totally gone away from Build-A-Figure box sets. I really want the Crime Syndicate set with Starro. Evil Bay prices for individual figures and parts are absurd. So it's crazy because I was like, I don't know if I really want to go into this McFarlane line. And Owlman was on the shelves. But then they put Superwoman. And she stayed on shelves for a long time. They went on clearance and was like, shoot, $7? Sign me up. And then Power Ring was also $7. I was like, okay, I guess I'm building Starro. I tracked down Ultraman, got him for $20. So that wasn't bad. But now Owlman is just a lost cause. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to paste together some pieces to make it look like I have a completed Starro because I don't think I'm ever going to get it completed. Aftonshot, I would like McFarlane to do Michael Shannon as General Zod. I don't know why we didn't get him as part of this Flash wave. That seemed like it would have made a lot of sense. Definitely not an issue of preventing any spoilers because he's all in the trailers. Jason Lyles, hey guy, what's up, bro? Glad to see you here. Yeah, it's little. I think it's Lino. I don't know about the pronunciation. Ryan, my son asked me if all Siths are boys, so I bought him the Vintage Collection Reva from the Obi-Wan series. I know Inquisitors aren't the same as Sith, but close enough. Also, her face print is crazy good. I mean, you can't forget about Asajj Ventress either. I mean, she was way more of a Sith than any Inquisitor, and she could kick serious tail. Love Asajj. She was great. It doesn't look too bad for an Owen Hart figure, but I can understand with his wife's situation. Yeah. Lawson thought so. Wasn't 100% sure, but I thought it was you. Yep. Jace, as the NBA draft is going on, wondering if the starting lineup line is completely dead. They're so dead. I mean, right now, Hasbro Pulse has this power sales event going on. So you can get those starting lineup NBA figures who started out at the ridiculous, no one's gonna buy it price of $49.99. They have those figures reduced right now to $29.99. And you can take advantage if you're a premium Pulse member and get them for even less. So they're not going to do any more of those. I'd be really, really shocked if we saw more of them. Jude says, Ken Robinson, what's going on? You have more chance of seeing a leprechaun than seeing one of those Jada Toy Street Fighter toys. They've been ridiculously hard to find. I'm just like, I feel like that's going to be a super easy impulse purchase when I see them, but my impulse has been absolutely quenched because I've never seen these figures. 80s kid from the 90s. They give up on DC Multiverse. I mean, they still got that Knightfall Batman coming, so it might not be time to give up on them just yet. Roberts, I've not seen the Jada figures, but I'm in Toy X, so that's not a surprise. Yeah. Yes, you're right, Lawson. Little Francis was his full name. You are correct. 80s kids from the 90s. Ventures was a great character. She was so cool. Clone Wars is awesome. I love Clone Wars so much, and I still need to do my top 40 characters since Hasbro does not seem interested in doing any more figures, and it's continuing to annoy me. Miguel, do you think the Legends HasLab will be Giant Man, or do you think it'll end up being something like the Quinjet? It has to be Giant Man, because I feel like they've gone and done so many great strides to try to replace so many figures that Toy Biz has done. Giant Man is still one of the most glaring omissions, one of the last few. Hey, we still need this figure from you guys. And a HasLab seems like a really great option for him. I keep wondering what the tiers will be. And he doesn't need to be $300, $350 because he should be a basic blank body. So I don't know. I feel like a Quinjet would take up a lot of space. And I think Hasbro would be a little bit gun shy doing a vehicle back to back after that Engine of Vengeance failed. But I think a Quinjet could work because at least everyone has about 6 Avengers, have seats for him, and then have space for Thor and his massive cape to stand in the background or ride alongside it. Maybe this is where you have a little base section where you have flight stands. So you're going to have Iron Man and Thor on either side and put them in flight. I don't know. Now I'm coming up with a whole nother HasLab, but I think it's going to be Giant Man. Kidred, have they done Johnny Quick in Power Ring? They've done Power Ring. Let me show you what he looks like real fast. He's an easy one to pull up. But they haven't done Johnny Quick, to answer your question. It's that same thing that he has all the time where it's I start a team, start a lineup, and then I just get bored. I move on to something else. And he really should finish off some of these easy teams, especially one as simple and as easy as the Crime Syndicate, because it's not like there's 42 members of this squad. All right, here you go. So you can see what Power Ring looks like. You can actually get him the cart right now. And I love so much where you go to Target, you can find these figures on clearance, but you can still go to the website and pay full price for them. He is basically a remold of the Parallax figure. So if you have that one already, you know what you're getting. But I love the fact that each one comes with their own little star arrow so you can attach them to another character's face. That's great. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent figure. And I didn't get Parallax, so this is a new sculpt to me. It's a new to you. But yeah, I think he looks good and a really good figure. I'm glad I got him for cheap, but you can still get him on Target's website. And you also asked, heck, they have not done the classic Red Hood and the tuxedo, and red cylinder helmet and red cape yet, like from The Killing Joke. That should be a really easy wave. You do Joker, Hawaiian shirt, Joker, Red Hood, Batman, maybe you do Oracle, maybe Commissioner Gordon. I guess Barbara, you wouldn't call her Oracle at that point. Kelly, wanted to get the Star Away, but prices, wow. Superwoman and Owlman, both over 100 in Canada. Sheesh. All right, let's see. I'm curious now. Let's go to the Evil Lair, where everyone said I was about to actually put in Evil Bay. That wasn't going to lead to much. But let's see exactly how much you would pay to get these figures now. Go away. All right. McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse, Star Away. All right, let's pull it up. Let's see where we get here going with that. Oh man, $219 to get the full set. Oh man, $70, $15.52 shipping, not great. Oh, I can get one for $100. You can get a full Starro for 100 as well. Gosh, these are expensive. 1754 power ring, but with no piece. Man, I'm really feeling like I messed up not getting this one. And this is the power or Superwoman piece. Yeah, they're expensive. I really wish they put stuff like that and keep it on McFarlane Toy Shop so it'd be a lot easier. Lawson says, if we get Giant Man, HasLab, I'm hoping we get a classic 60s Wasp and would love a Dr. Pym in a lab coat wearing his Ant-Man suit with a removable Ant-Man helmet. Lawson, I wonder how many people would be so upset if they bought the Target exclusive Ant-Man and then they turned around and made a tier Ant-Man with the lab coat. I feel like there would be internet fanboy rioting if they did that. But I'm with you. Maybe they could just do Dr. Pym in a lab coat. I think that would be easier. And maybe they could do it with the swappable arms. And if you had the Ant-Man, you could swap them out and you could still do that without annoying the masses. Devin, classic Firestorm is coming out from McFarlane. Yeah, we talked about that last week. I am so excited about that figure. I can't wait to see what they do with him. Blake says if it's not Giant Man, it could be King or Fing Bang Boom. My spell check is terrible. I should tell you, it texted something. I was like, whoa. But yeah, Fing Bang Boom. He would be fun. And I remember their previous take on him. It took 2 Build-A-Figure waves. So it was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, especially since so many of those figures were kind of bad. And they were bad back in their day. It wasn't like looking back on and they were bad. But the Fing Bang Boom was a really great Build-A-Figure. I wonder how much he would cost now. 80s kids from the 90s wants to know, is anyone here a Skrull? No. Why would you ask a question like that? Earthling? 80s kid? Robert's Infinite Realm says Giant Man makes so much sense, which makes me think they won't. No, they've got to do something because they're seeing how great the G.I. Joe Classified series line is. They got to come hard, and they need something that's a layup HasLab for them. After the failure of the Engine of Vengeance, they need something to work. And I think that's an easy one, especially while we're celebrating 60 years of Avengers. I feel like that's a really easy way to go. Miguel, I feel like one tier would be Wasp's OG look. Wasp OG look. Yeah. And I feel like I would be upset if they threw in a little baby Wasp figure with every tier, because, she wore a million costumes. They can almost make every tier a Wasp figure, and I'd be happy. Lefty T Lions BK, Marvel Legends HasLab, in my opinion, will be Giant Man, considering all the marketing and attention Ant-Man has gotten this year. Yep, I agree. Lawson, I love a Quinjet, but Giant Man seems like more of a no-brainer for Hasbro to do. Yeah, I kind of feel like I wouldn't be upset if it was a Quinjet, but Giant Man is great. But the only thing is they're really going to have to bring it, because that Toy Biz one, outside of being a little shaky in terms of standing, is still a really, really great figure. And he looks appropriately giant size next to the current Hasbro Marvel Legends. Happy Accident. I can't see HasLab doing a project for less than $275 these days. I really hope if they have to, that is the absolute max price for a Giant Man who should not need a lot of sculpting. And he's just tall. But I wonder if they did some clever engineering where you could size him up. Maybe have some parts where you could make him bigger, kind of like how they did Stiltman, but with a little bit more creativity thrown in there, where you could build and add the legs and arms, probably a chest piece, depending on how big you wanted them. So if, say for your shelf, you wanted an 18-inch Giant Man, you could just have the basic one. Or if you want to say a 24-inch one, you can add in different limbs or attachments to make him taller. That could make for a little more elaborate figure and then worthwhile the price of a HasLab. But otherwise, I don't think he needs to be that much. But I'm hoping you're wrong, but I don't know if you will be. Jay Woods, HasLab has to offer something close to $300. If it is Giant Man, it better be one heck of an action figure. Yeah, it needs to be an amazing Giant Man. He needs to talk to me. Say, hey, watch out, Jeff. Kindred, I just got the Target Ant-Man. I like the figure, but I wish he was pinless and a helmeted head of either Hank Pym or Scott Lang, a lab coat, and a shrinking Ant-Man effect. Yeah, that would be great too. So maybe that's something they could throw in for a tier. Keith, what's going on, buddy? Tom Finn 2018, what's up? I still can't bring myself to buy the Franklin Valeria or Squadron Supreme sets, even at 35% off of free shipping. The Mafex Bomb Cyclone doesn't help. I'm trying to think here if I have him in the box. Yes, I do. I just got this set. What's wrong with this? I got them from my dear affiliate friends over at Entertainment Earth, but I'm reviewing these guys this week, and I can't wait to open them up and break them down. Outside of this little color and pins of Dr. Spectrum, which I'm still not happy with. But yeah, let me know why you're not excited about them. I'm with you on the Franklin and Valeria set, though. It's just a huge miss for me. Lawson, I would love it. Large and articulated ant figure for Ant-Man to ride. Yeah, that would be fun. One with wings. That would be very cool. I feel like they need to do that. Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. I don't know what's going on with the chat. All right, Key Feinstein. Serpents must have been back in stock for only 5 minutes. That is a great point. Let me go into some of these, just to recap real fast here. So earlier, and by early, I mean Tuesday, we had another drop, just for everybody who wasn't here when I broke them down earlier, of G.I. Joe Classified Series figures. New three look really awesome. We got Grunt, the superior Grunt of the Joes, the Everyman. This figure looks really good. I love all the details. He's got the M16. He's got the Sunbow laser rifle for all the Joes here too. All the texture you'd expect him for this line. Got a little pouch here and a data pad, which I don't see in this picture, but the book bag holds both weapons. That's nice. The helmet that all the Joes are rocking these days, even the GoPro, looks really good, like Grunt. Then we can move on. We've got Low Light, and this figure looks fantastic. He's sitting cross-legged. He's got his backpack as he's taking aim. The classic G.I. Joe sniper, ready to deal some action at night. And the Snow Serpent, which looks really great, really amazing. Wolf head, wolf pelt, cloak, the whole deal. And you got a squad of them. And for everybody who was missing out on, they're back in stock at Amazon, or at least earlier this afternoon they were, so you could still build a massive army of Snow Serpents. Entertainment Earth still has them in stock. They're coming in December, though, so still time to get those figures. Let's check in on our Dragonfly. How is this thing rolling so far? 13,833. Let's see if that's changed at all. 13,875. So it's kind of slowing down. I'm really wondering if Glinda is slowing things because people aren't as excited about Glinda and wanted a tier that would help move the needle. I'm wondering with so much more time left if they'll even tease the third tier to get people excited and go, we need to get this so we can get Glinda and that third tier figure. But yeah, the big surprise for this week was Serpentor is back in stock. And when you guys tipped me off to it, and I wanted to give a post to let everybody else know, hey, Serpentor is there. Go to post right away and get him. And he was gone just that fast. So they have been trying to stock Serpentor. They've been trying to put more Dr. Mindbenders out, but people are sitting there anxiously waiting for them to come back and they grab them. And apparently Hasbro Pulse has 10 each time they put them back up because they sell out so fast. Lefty Two Lions, BK, Owlman, Parallax, Comic Shazam, and Build-A-Figure Starro are all lost causes. I just barely got Knightfall Asbat. That's another figure I want, but I got the Mafex one, so I'm not too upset about that. Being a fine figure, what do you think of the announcement by McFarlane on 89 Batman and Batmobile? Let's pull that up. All right, let's see. I thought I had one all set for that, but let's pull it up so everyone can see what you're talking about. All right, the big announcement from McFarlane Toys was this. We heard you loud and clear. Due to popular demand, in the coming weeks, we'll be releasing a Batmobile and Batman combo pack based on the 89 Batman movie design. Stay tuned. I feel like that was something that we knew was coming. Like that was part of that leak list. So it's not a huge surprise reveal, but it is coming. And for everybody who's like, this canopy shouldn't be gray. I hope it's fixed. And it should be pretty classic. It needs to have 2-seaters for that Vicky Vale that apparently we're never going to get. But I think that's really cool for people who missed out or who just wanted the classic 89 Batman, Batmobile. I think enough time has passed now. There's no Batmobile riding around in the Flash. So I don't know what he was doing with the design anyway, but it was a good way to get it out for people who just wanted a Batmobile. I'm really curious to see what the pricing of this one will be, because that $60 for the Flash version of the Batmobile was a great deal, and I'm curious to see what this one will be. Afton Child says, I'm still waiting for McFarlane to do and make Recon Corch and Spider Curie for Avatar 2. I think he's moved on, and that's always the problem with McFarlane. Lawson says, I'm dreaming for their Dr. Pym. I realize, but there's no point in fantasizing if you don't dare to dream big, even for Ant-Man. Bam, bam. Yes. Kedrick, for Hasbro Pulse, I'm not a Pulse member. Can I still shop on their website without being a Pulse member? Yes, because I like to get Snow Job, maybe the Trouble Bubble Televiper set. Yeah, so about that, I really think for a lot of these memberships, it's not cool. It's not a great deal. But for Pulse, it pays off because they have these sales that within a year, because you're paying for the year membership, you can get some really great deals on figures. Like I said, 35% for figures is really good. They do free shipping for everything if you're a Pulse member too. So it's like, I just want this one figure. You can just get it without having to go, what's the minimum I need to get? You just get free shipping. That's covered. Then they have early drops for premium members. So every pre-order, you get an hour before everybody else gets to them. So that doesn't necessarily help for a line like G.I. Joe, because people are like, I need all the army builders I can get. And sometimes they limit it to 1 or 2 figures, but it's really good for a Power Pulse sale event where you get it early, you get the 35% off, and you can just keep getting them. And if you wait within the cycle of your membership, figures like that Snow Job, the Televiper, the Trouble Bubble will be cheaper. You can get them for that big discount, like say this time next year, and it'll be like, wow, I'm so glad I got this thing, and it paid off for me. So keep that in mind, but you don't have to be a Pulse member to get anything on Pulse. Tom Finn, 2018 says, dang, $100 for Starro. I'm tempted to go on another eBay purge. I was on eBay constantly for so long selling stuff to people, and then it was like, all these new changes, all these fees they started tacking on. I haven't sold anything in eBay prior to the pandemic at this point. Mike Solo, Falcon was a horrible sculpt. The new Superman just beat it out for worst sculpt. Yeah, we're going to have a face-off at the end of the year. Falcon versus Smiley Superman. Let's see Lions BK. I ordered Power Ring and Ultraman from Target last month. Nice. They still have Ultraman on there? Wow, that's crazy. Power Ring arrived, but Ultraman has been delayed 3 times already. It looks like a lost cause. You know, sometimes Target is like, yeah, we got your order. And then when you start getting those, you need to press accept this delay. I'm like, I don't want to accept this delay. I want my figure. One of my buddies in the area has pre-ordered the Ant-Man or the Hawkeye Goon, the Trenchcoat Mafia guy, and he's seen it in stores several times. His pre-order has not shipped. And I feel like if you go to any Target at this point, you can see tons of Trenchcoat Mafia figures. I don't know what the deal is with their pre-orders. I had to stop doing it because I was pre-ordering the WWE Legends figures because they're exclusive to Target. And then I see the figures on the shelf, and they're still acting like, oh, sorry, man, your pre-order is still waiting to get shipped out. So, yeah, Target is a nightmare. Ryan, what's up? My Dark Horse Marvel HasLab theory is the Kree Supreme Intelligence, just a face inside a working lava lamp. That's kind of fun and cool. I want to see. You know what? I have a lava lamp still. I'm kind of interested. That'd be a fun thing to do. 80s kid from the 90s. I'm hoping for a classic Cap. Well, maybe they will put him out. I mean, we haven't seen Cap in this Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest run yet. Maybe this is finally the opportunity to get the little black around the A on his outfit. Lawson, I'd love to get a Jarvis figure. No, I want a Jarvis figure. I pulled for him to be one of those tiers because I feel like he is a perfect HasLab figure. I mean, oh man, I missed out on a Jarvis. But for everybody that's backing a Giant Man Avengers theme HasLab, Jarvis has to be in there. But I think one thing that also would really annoy a lot of collectors would be if they finally did the Perez John Byrne style Beast and put him in this HasLab. Can you imagine the nuclear meltdown of everybody who's not backing it but wanted this version of Beast? Nothing that sucks. Yeah, I mean, Target's so bad when you pre-order. Sometimes they're really on top of it for those lingering figures. Whew. Kidra, the Marvel Legends HasLab project, the no-brainer would be the X-Men jet. It's called a Blackbird. You are correct. Yeah, I think that would be an interesting one because it's just long. That's the thing with the Blackbird. It's just like a really small cockpit, but the bulk of the jet is they don't even really show it in the comics. So it's just the main cockpit area where they're all sitting anyway, and then it's just a lot of wasted space. And for that, for HasLab, all you got is this section. I feel like that'd be a pretty cool diorama piece. Maybe that's something they should be doing, like vehicles like that, like the Fantastic Car, but that could be something they could just do a full thing. But maybe like a diorama of the Danger Room, that could be something. They can incorporate that as a HasLab with the cockpit of the Blackbird. I don't know. Maybe that's something they could do. Blake, okay, if it's Giant Man, one of the tiers has to be Yellow Jacket, but they can't really do a Yellow Jacket behind the paywall, like with G.I. Joe. Yellow Jacket is a mainline figure. That's the thing I keep kind of stumbling on. I feel like you need these HasLabs to be as enticing as possible to collectors. Because it's like, you want me to drop 350? You want me to drop 400 on what? And I feel like if you put a good, cool character in there, maybe for Yellow Jacket, this is an opportunity for Hasbro to do what they do so often with the Iron Man figures. Here's the gold version of Yellow Jacket, which seems a little weird, but here's the gold version. We're going to throw him behind the HasLab. And for our regular release version, he's going to be yellow. So that way, people who got the HasLab one, let's say they got him 6 months early, don't feel burned. People who waited and got the classic yellow instead of gold will be happy. Everybody's okay. And maybe they throw in a couple of different accessories for the HasLab compared to the mainline one. Maybe, for example, for the HasLab one, we get a different Hank Pym head sculpt. And then for the regular release one, we get the one that's part of that West Coast Avengers set. I don't know. I think that's the way they could do, because I feel like HasLabs need tiers that make people buy them, but not to make it to the point where people are going, I'm out, I'm mad, I'm done with this whole line. Epic LVL Purple, I'm late to the party. What I miss? Well, we mock relentlessly the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Superman figure, Smiley Superman, and we talked about the HasLab from Marvel Legends a little bit more, but we're still talking, so you didn't miss too much. Rhino 4563. I'm holding out for the Avengers Mansion playset. Don't joke around. I would buy that, and I would have that as the centerpiece section for my Avengers display. I feel like Hasbro's missing out. We're seeing extreme sets and different companies do background dioramas, and an Avengers Mansion seems like such an easy no-brainer. I mean, that is the easiest one. And then a Danger Room is another one that makes so much sense. The Baxter Building, the Fantastic Four Lab. These are all things. Shoot, Doctor Strange's house, this whole wing of his chambers or whatever. That's another one that makes sense. Odin's throne room. I mean, there's so many different things they could do. Just a generic laboratory for Mad Thinker, Doctor Doom, a futuristic room for Kane. So much stuff, and I just wish they were doing more with that. Fortress Madamus, nice. I hope the HasLab isn't Giant Man. I want that mold for other large characters like Goliath, Frost Giants, Atlas, etc. So here's my masterstroke plan. Masterstroke plan of that is for them to make Giant Man the tallest. That's when Hank Pym was at his biggest anyway, where it's like, hey, I'm the biggest, and I'm just running around. I'm so tall, I'm passing out. But when he was a Goliath, he was mostly like a 10-inch or a little bit taller than everybody else, but not so giant size. And I think that's the scale they could do these other characters like the Frost Giants, like Atlas, like Black Goliath, like Power Man / Goliath 3. I think that's where you go. And then Hawkeye, Clint Barton version of Goliath. I think that scale could work for smaller giants, but then we have Giant Man being the tallest, the biggest of all those giant characters. 80s kids from the 90s. Yeah, sure, I got the Alex Ross version, which is the mid-2000s look. But I need a classic cat with the brighter blue and red colors. Yep. Grunt looks so good. He really does. 80s kid says Grunt looks great. So does Lowlight. Yep. Yeah, they're really nice looking figures. I don't feel like outside of Falcon, I've been too disappointed with. No, strike that. I haven't been disappointed with any other figure. I think they look really good. CoverGirl just needs a new head sculpt, but the rest of her looks awesome. Lefty Lions, the Blackbird would be phenomenal, but I think it would be a multi-part HasLab in order to get the correct scale and ability to hold multiple figures in the cabin. Yeah. Kelly Cox says, low light, my man, all business. He is so focused. Yo, Joe! was worried about you. I thought you were turning into a Cobra Trooper who was actually a Skrull, but now you're back on the side of the jokes. Everything's all good. Blake, is a Snow Serpent rifle the generic Cobra Trooper issued one? That's a great question. Let's see. Pull this back up to the Snow Serpent window. The trick when you have too many open. All right, let's go. Let's go through and see if Blake is correct on that. Because it could be. You know what? I think you're right. You're talking about this one. I think that is the Cobra Trooper, Cobra rifle that they did use in the cartoon. Let's do a little more extra research. All right, let's see. Now I got the G.I. Joe theme stuck in my head. Thank you so much, Blake. Carson. Oh, yes, I believe so. So let's see. Let's pull it up real fast. All right. So there's Gung Ho from Pyramid of Darkness. Let's see. I think you're right. Oh, here we go. This is a better one. So we can see for sure. You're right. Now, that's sneaky. They threw in the Cobra Trooper rifle and the Grunt having the G.I. Joe rifle from the cartoon. But yeah, that does look like it. That's a neat thing. Thanks for pinching. Yeah, that is cool. They're really on top of these little Easter eggs for everybody who pays attention. I'm not one of them, but that's a good call, Blake. Nice. Man, whoever's doing the posing and photography for the G.I. Joe line is killing it. Yeah. Epic LVL Purple. I'm pretty sure that is shooting the galaxy, and for sure, awesome photos from him. Let's see here. Let's make sure I'm telling you correctly. Because last time when he did them, he did post it. These are my photos. I put them out there. Darn it. Okay. Let me try. Never mind. I'll have to find that out later. Twitter wants me to log in, and it's just being a whole thing. James, got my notice that my bats will be shipping soon. It's crazy that I'll be getting bats before shipwreck. Those just went up for pre-order not too long ago. Which bats? The Arctic bat? Or just like the Crimson bat? Because I feel like there's so many bats in circulation now. Try to keep track of which was which. 80s kids running 90s. Does anyone recommend the Kang the Conqueror? Only myself left to conquer comic. I haven't read that one. Tom Finn, I think the Squadron Supreme set is nicely done, but I feel like I already have Hyperion, and I just want Dr. Spectrum. I should probably get it and sell off either this Hyperion or the older one. I'm pretty sure you're going to want to sell off the older one. This one looks better, in my opinion, and seems like a much better looking figure. Mike Solo says the shipping itself pays for itself. Yeah, because if you buy like 2 orders, essentially, because I think shipping can be as high as $12, and if you get a HasLab, shipping's free, which makes it like, oh, that's an even better deal. So yeah. Henry G. Soup Scott Falcon beat hands down. He absolutely does. I feel like we need a Superman 3 where the real Superman emerges from that terrible head sculpt, and it's like, hey, there you go. Roberts Infinite Realm says my Yondu was delayed like 5 times until I finally got him. I cannot believe you survived 5 rounds of delays on Target.com before you actually got him. Because normally, man, Tracksuit Mafia, thank you. I don't know where I was going with the trench coat, but yeah, tracksuit for sure. I don't know, bro. I just totally slipped on that one. Being a Fine Figure says Valorverse lowered their prices. Yeah, what are they, $29.99 now? Lefty Two Lions BK, the McFarlane 89 Batman announcement is really annoying. Feeling like I should have passed on the Flash movie Batmobile and held out for this new one. Hopefully it's improved. I think if you sell it now, you could probably get a decent profit for it. But yeah, it was one of those things where on the low was kind of mentioned, it was mentioned kind of early on where I don't think enough people were really paying attention because they were like, oh, Batmobile. But I don't know. I feel like maybe now's the time to start tricking it out and putting some chrome, spray painting that cockpit matte black and doing whatever you want with it, because this new one that's going to come with Batman might be more what everybody wanted all along. Afton Child, I still haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and figures to build Infinite Ultron. Would be Moon Knight, Mr. Knight, and one Moon Knight from the Spider-Man Homecoming. They have a lot of figures that I feel like, especially the Quantumania wave, I don't know if that has to do with what's going on with Jonathan Majors, but I've not seen them in any stores. They moved on to like 3 different waves since that's been shown. Lawson says a classic Yellow Jacket would make me all in on the HasLab. See, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you got to have something to make people go, okay, I wasn't sure I was going to back this thing, but now I really need to. And I feel like if you go too heavy with characters no one cares about, it's not going to push more people to back the HasLab. Oops, sorry. Roberts, HasLab Danger Room, similar to what Marvel Select did over their X-Men fix. That worked. I feel like that is something they could do on Pulse and not make it an exclusive HasLab, because I feel like they try to make it super expensive. But HasLab just needs like some tentacles coming out, maybe like a piece where you could just have a slot where you could just move the walls in like they're closing in on Colossus and Wolverine. Maybe like a ball that's just hanging from something to get Nightcrawler, some flamethrower effects, but it doesn't need to be that much more elaborate than what we're seeing with Extreme sets. Certainly not for HasLab prices, because I'd be terrified to see what kind of tiers they throw into that. Kelly Cox, diorama of the Danger Room would be insane. Sliding walls, yes. And panels with fold out guns. Sign me up. I think that would work. Kindred, do you remember the controversy about the Django on Chain Toys? They did Django, Leonardo's character, Christopher Waltz's character, and Samuel L. Jackson's character. eBay would have taken them. Did they not make those? I kind of didn't love Django. I like the last act. I thought Leo was really fun, but not a fan of the movie, all told. Being a fine figure. Doesn't this Superman head remind you of Mort from Mork and Mindy? Now that you say that, it is all nanu, because yeah. Wow, that's a good call. Keith Feinstein. That's what Hasbro's missing in their HasLab thinking. The G.I. Joe ones have worked because vehicles complete G.I. Joe classified. Play sets, the iconic Marvel Legends will complete Legends. Yeah, because I feel like there are not that many iconic Marvel vehicles. It's a Fantastic car. It's a Quinjet. It's a Blackbird. I just don't see how the Blackbird works in a 6-inch scale. I think they could fudge a Quinjet, just make it kind of really round and oval, almost like Blue Beetle's Bug, but I don't think that the Blackbird would work. So we got two vehicles that would probably make it through to HasLab. I think diorama sets are more where they could go. Kidder says that Avengers Mansion I could see maybe as a HasLab. The thing is, what would the unlocks be? All right, well, Jarvis with an apron and a dustpan and a broom and crumpets, tea, that could be one tier. Let's see. Who else would there be? Peggy? Is she there too? I don't know. Epic LVL Purple. Mafex. Knightfall Batman and Bane. Yes. Well, you know what? You mentioned it. Let's go to that. Let's take a look at this. I'm so excited about this. I feel like this is the year of Knightfall Batman. And between what we're seeing with Mafex and our fine friends at McFarlane, we're finally going to get some really classic figures. Now let's break this thing down, because so much greatness in this deal here. So you look over here to the right side. This is very reminiscent of the Kelly Jones Knightfall covers, and it looks like the smiley face, kind of gritting smiley face, almost looks like every cover, where I think this is actually a cover from Knightfall that I can recall, where he is like going toe to toe with Bane, if I'm remembering that correctly. But I love the long ears, the Kelly Jones ears, the cape draped there. It's got the rebreather, got a batarang, different heads. I just wish they had the mask, the black mask part on there. That's the only thing missing. But you got the Sears head sculpt, and then you see these points there on his shoulders. Then there's another one without it, so that's great. If you like the points, that's cool. If you don't have to have it. But look at all this articulation right here. He looks great, and I cannot wait for this to go for pre-order. Classic cylinder capsules on the utility belt, the oval, yellow, black bat, and in the Bat Breaker himself, Bane. He looks massive compared to Knightfall Batman. And of course, they got the money shot with him breaking Batman's back. I'm really curious, because it looks like he's actually doing that with one leg supporting the rest of the figure. If so, that's really great. We got the fierce face, the mask, and I like how they were able to actually show some emotion, just like he did when Jim Aparo was drawing him. That's really nice. Got the little tentacles, the cores there, plugging that venom directly into his veins. And then he's about to toss Batman. Really cool shots. I mean, this is straight from the comic book, and this Bane looks amazing, and I cannot wait to add this one to my collection. That looks awesome. Lawson says classic Giant Man with two different heads. One the classic mask, the other with the mask 60s helmet combo. Yeah, but see, I was thinking maybe they could do like a whole other chest piece section where you get that whole look and just snap it over. And maybe you could do that. So he's got two different looks for Ant-Man right away. Matthew Matson. The Valkyries also have the cartoon rifle. Man, you guys are on top of this. I did not pick that up whatsoever. But that's cool too. So you can really get your whole G.I. Joe cartoon nostalgia thing going just from Grunts, the Valkyries, and the Snow Serpents. That's cool. And of course, on Pulse right now, they're sold out. I just want to pull this up and see all these cool pictures of the Valkyries rocking this pistol. Oh, I'm curious now. Yeah, it does look like, all right. Oh, that clip is removable too. That's cool. Let me pull this up. So I'm not just being selfish, so I can share all this good stuff with you guys too. But that is nice. So got that, and apparently, all right, there we go. So you can see it right there. That's great. All the more reason to get this pack. Thank you, Matthew, for pointing that out for me too. Really appreciate that. That's cool. 80s kids from the 90s hear them may already be recasting gang. I don't know. I don't think that's going on now. Lefty T Lions BK. Good eye on the Cobra standard issue rifle. Yeah, that is cool. Sean Maurice, what's going on? The Arctic Bats. I got my notification from Hasbro yesterday. Oh, man. Jeez, that's really cool. I can't wait to see what everybody does, and I can't wait to see everybody pulling up cotton balls and just coming up with snowscapes and throwing in those Arctic Bats. I guess the only one they're going to have to fight right now is the Arctic Storm Shadow, which is kind of wild that we don't have Snow Job before them yet. Blake says, yeah, true, a tan one and a black one. That is very cool that we got them for both options, and I kind of maybe tempted to get a Valkyrie pack now. Digital Diarrhea, what's going on? Good evening. I got the Arctic Bats notice too. Can't wait, even though they're very flawed. What's wrong with them? I haven't heard people complain about them. Let me know. Happy accident. Yep, same. Arctic Bats about to ship. Goodness gracious. Keith got it too. Whoa, it's crazy. Putting that Falcon head on my Superman figure to improve his look, bro. What's your head swap for Falcon? I don't have Falcon yet because I was waiting for one of these Hasbro Pulse sales or to see if Target would have them on cheaper because I didn't want to pay $25 for them. But I think people have used the Spider-Man Unmasked, the No Way Home, or not No Way Home, the Renew Your Vows head sculpt for him. I've seen other people use the Punisher head sculpt, the one without the headband. That one looked pretty cool too. I feel like there's so many great options for Falcon, except for the one they did. Lawson, I'm giving him the cover girl. Digital Diarrhea, Target canceled my orders. It was for Tate's oatmeal cookies though. I think you're the first one that had food canceled instead of figures. Afterchild. I would really like the Hasbro people who make the G.I. Joe figures also do Resident Evil figures like Hunk, but it's designed from the remake, the rest of the Resident Evil characters. I wonder if Valiverse has something that kind of stand in for Hunk for you. James Green, Arctic Bat from Pulse. I am amazed that you guys are getting it already. That is wild, which makes me think we're going to see some of these other figures come a lot sooner than they indicated too. Kendrick, also just got the Baron von Strucker from the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave. My Puff Adder is almost complete. I love the structure figure. One of the reasons that he's pinless. Yeah, I think Puff Adder is going to be a really fun, kind of underrated Build-A-Figure as the year goes through. Lawson, I actually repainted my cover girl head and it looks better now. Got rid of the heavy eyeshadow between the eyes and eyebrows. Helped it look a lot. Please let me see what that looks like. Yeah, hit me up because I'm very curious to see. Lawson, I did the same for Madam Hydra and that helped her as well. So apparently there's another fix going on. Robo from Fush did a head swap and just switched Vertigo from that X-Men Villains 5-pack with the Viper set. So they switched the headsets in it, head, and so now the Vertigo has the Madam Viper head sculpt, and I think Robo painted some white stripes in the hair too, and that kind of looked all right. The picture I have that my buddy sent me is a little shaky. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to make it out, but let me see if I can show you what it looked like because it's kind of cool. It gave me an idea when I finally get that set. Let's see. So that is the Hydra set. Madam Hydra head on Vertigo. I think that's a nice switch, and kind of curious how that works. Apparently, Vertigo has like a wonky head thing, so she looks a little wild. So that worked out really well. Jarvis with a dinner tray to throw like a shield. Absolutely. I'm hoping we get a Secret Invasion era Thor. Give us a new Bleeding Edge Iron Man 2. Classic Hulk and She-Hulk. Yeah, I'm with you, 80s kid. Digital Diarrhea, that Bane is fire. He is. I still want that figure. I want another new Azrael more. Yeah, I kind of want the old classic version of Azrael. I love that outfit. Joe Quesada's art made him look so cool. I really like that armor, so I want that for sure. Kelly Cox, I might be looking at my first Mafex figure. It's a really great looking set. Aftertale, just imagine Nemesis the same size as a Hulk figure, maybe. And just imagine his different forms in the game when he evolved into a giant monster. Marvel has met Resident Evil because Marvel versus Capcom. Yeah. Matthew Masson, that Bane body should have been the Thor body also. I was so disappointed seeing that Mafex Thor because I was like, that Iron Man looks great. Finally, an Iron Man figure where you can see his eyes. It's not just black slots. But Thor is shorter. He looks so stumpy next to Iron Man. He looks pretty close in height to Spider-Man. It's like, because everything else looks cool, but he's just not big enough, not tall enough. And it's like, guys, we were so close, but no sale. Kidder, does the mutant Vertigo ever join X-Men at one point or no? I know she's an evil mutant. In one continuity, she works for Sinister. Marvel's doing so many wild things. I mean, like every villain, it seems, is part of the X-Men now. And they're like, oh, look, I'm sneaky doing things because I'm a villain. I haven't kept up with X-Men in a while. They started doing some wild stuff. I don't know. I mean, she probably is the way they're doing things now. James Green, that Bane is a must-have. I will be pre-ordering them. Looks great, doesn't it? Epic LVL Purple. The listing there shows that Bane will be 190 millimeters, which is 7.4 inches. If this is true, he'll be at a perfect size. So hyped. Me too. I mean, I was really excited to get that Bane Build-A-Figure from DC Classics, and I had the DC Superheroes version. I was like, yeah, it's okay, I guess, but the Collect and Connect one had some size to him. It was a really fun figure, but this one, oh yes, it looks fantastic and really, really great figure. It looks like the Mafex Knightfall Batman is reused of the Hush Batman. Bane looks awesome. I'm still distraught over Sideshow canceling my Hush Bats order. I mean, I'm not even a crying face. I'm more like, I'm upset. Bane Hulk out face over that. I mean, it had Cyborg Superman, Nightwing, which I do have, and Huntress, all set up for pre-orders, and all three canceled. And I'm so salty. I'm pretty sure Steel got canceled too. So it's just like, y'all really let me down on that. So, but Entertainment Earth still has Nightwing, and I think they do have Huntress up for pre-order, but Cyborg Superman is sold out. Kindred, in some Batman shows or movies, they make Bane out to be a dumb, muscle-brown brute. Dude, for real, because, I mean, the whole great thing about Bane and Knightfall is he's a scheming strategist. And he's like, I'm not fighting Batman straight up. I'm going to let all his bad guys wear him down, and when he's beaten down physically and mentally, then I'm going to beat him. Best villain strategy ever. And I don't know why they just make him this Bane smash. So lame, especially how they did Bane and Batman and Robin. Heard there's a lot of evidence in Major's favor. They may wait for the trial to decide. Yes. Bruce Robinson, got your notice also. Man, I fully expect next week to see tons of photos from you all with your Arctic bats so I can be jealous and want them. Digital Diarrhea. The bat's chainsaw won't work with other bats. Won't fit in its own backpack. Chest is finicky with other bats. That to me isn't a problem with the bats. I mean, the Arctic bat, I don't care if it does, the chainsaw doesn't work. That's for that one to chomp through the snow, chew through it, whatever. And I mean, if you have a chainsaw attachment with a bat, why do you need it on the backpack? I mean, that sucker's gonna be rocking. There's no way I'm gonna have the chainsaw sitting stowed away. That is 100% going on my bats, my Arctic bats. And I know some people are upset about some compatibility issues with older ones, but they're older bats. This is a new model. Dr. Mindbender, Destro are always trying to make Cobra upgrades to pay a little bit more. I mean, just like your iPhone. Excuse me. Being a fine figure says, Falcon Head ain't that terrible. Every time I see it, it gives me the urge to see a Bronx tail. Yes, it's just, I think there's something a little too brutish with the head sculpt for Falcon. I think that could have worked for Grunt maybe, and people are like, okay. I mean, the original figure wasn't a Playboy model either. I mean, he's just like, whatever. But there's something about Falcon, I think, from the movie that people are like, nah, man, he's more like a Don Johnson, Brady Boy type. And the comic book had him more of a straight lace and not so, but I don't know what's going on. But there's different options. So if you're happy with it, I'm happy for you. Happy accident. Battleverse blowback head sculpt for Falcon, but saw repainted Dusty on Falcon and looked amazing. Here's another one I saw. Let's see this Battleverse blowback though. You guys are always putting me out to these cool new figures. So I need to see what blowback looks like. And it kind of looks like this figure would make for a really good head sculpt for Lieutenant Falcon, as Beachhead would say. I see what you're talking about. Let me pull that up for everybody else. That would make for a really great head sculpt. Looks like he's sold out on Valverse's site right now, but that's a good head sculpt. And I think it would definitely work for Falcon. Kendrick, any Batman continuity, Bane needs to be smart. He uses brain in his mind, not just his muscles at one point. He discovered that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Don't spoil it for everybody, but nah. Yeah, I mean, he should be smart, not just a dumb idiot. Puff Adder is good, but he's incredibly light for a Build-A-Figure of his size. Makes him a bit hard to pose, but good otherwise. He used the, what's his face? The Caliban mold, right? I thought Caliban was pretty solid and thick. John Doe, this is live. I'm not sure. No, we're live. What's up? Daniel, what's going on? What did I miss? Not a whole lot, man. We've just been talking about figures, having a good time. You know the norm for us here. Blake, there's a Mafex Classic Captain America coming out next. Looks pretty good. He's only in the prototype stages online. Yeah, the Thor should have had the DC steel body. I'm very curious to see what the Mafex Captain America looks like. Have they painted up, Blake? And does their version have the painted A around the black around the A? I feel like that could be pretty cool. John Doe, how do you feel about CP2 Warriors? Draymond potentially going to Lakers. Draymond plays really hard, so I wouldn't say no to him joining the Lakers. How do I feel about CP3 to the Warriors? I mean, he's going to be great during the regular season, then he's going to get hurt during the postseason, so I don't think it's going to work. You know, for the Wizards, I think they're going to be like, oh my gosh, Jordan passed the ball. He's going to shoot 50 times every game. Would it be cool if DreamWorks did a collector line? 86 from the 90s, who would you want to see in that line? Kindred says NECA did a Kurt Russell from The Thing. I hope it's wonderful if they do more characters from the movie, like Keith Davis' character shop. Yeah. Digital diarrhea. No, Lyle. Lyle is not my name. It is not. It's not. Let me see here. Yes, it's there. Jeffrey. Lyle is like not even my last name. It's like a law firm and it's craziness. But yeah, my first name is Jeffrey, Jeff, if you will, whatever. But yeah, Lyle's is my last name. It just flowed better with Lyle's Figure Files, Lyle's Movie Files. Saying Jeffrey Figure Files and Jeffrey Movie Files just didn't flow, so that's why I did it. Lawson, I got one of those NECA Kurt Russell Thing figures. I'd love to see more characters from the movie made for the line. I have their Aliens figures, and I'm just like, please give us some more. It's interesting. I'm starting to see Apone in stores and Target again, and I felt like it had been so long since I saw him in any retail spot. Maybe I'll put Drake out. That way I can get him using the Target Red Circle bonus. 86 from the 90s wants to see Scarlet Centurion, Ramatut, and Mortis. Those would be really cool. Dan, you did miss that. We went in on that Superman head sculpt and how terrible it looks. So definitely check that out. In short, terrible. They needed to redo that entire Superman. Ultraman looks good, but yeah, it should have done a lot better. Afton Child's all about the Moon Knight Jed McKay run. I'm hoping it is still good. Henry G. Jeff, not sure if you talked about this. The Venom Space Knight and Mania are on Target. Good point. And if I'm remembering correctly, this was not an insane price tag for a 2-pack, which I think is really good and definitely what they need to continue doing, where you're paying for a Build-A-Figure and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, why is this sucker here now on available for everybody? Not that that's a bad thing, but gosh, Target's website is just the worst in terms of actually finding things. You're like, oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. And it's actually still on there on the site, which is great. Hadn't sold out yet. So you can get the set Mania, Venom Space Knight. I think they did a really nice job with him. He's got some great accessories, those big blades, the smiley crazy face. I like that original one. And Mania looks good too. I don't know Mania whatsoever. So no interest in her. But for everybody who missed out, you get this 2-pack and probably get it for like 40 bucks, 35, 30 bucks if you wait it out a little bit longer because they're always on sale later on. Doomsday 219 says, did the Cobra Valkyries go for pre-order? You can still get them right now, if I'm remembering correctly. You don't have to wait. They are there available to pre-order. I don't think they're ready to sell or actually to go out to everybody. The way these Arctic bats are coming out to folks already, they may be sooner than I think. Let's put when they're actually supposed to come out. Oh, they've got an actual release date for them. September 15th for the Cobra Valkyries, so you can still pre-order away. They're not sold out, and you can army build a whole rack of them. But it's one of those deals where you can probably wait them out because these 2-packs are going to go, and you can take advantage of a Hasbro Pulse Power event and get them cheaper and then really stock up on them. Being a fine figure, I jumped on the Serpents release the other day. By the time I had checked out, it was sold out. That's terrible. I'm like, man, it's so bad when people aren't able to get those figures because Serpents or Mindbender are so good. I haven't heard from anybody saying that Mindbender came out yet, or got back up for like the 5th time. But hopefully, since Serpents is just like, this like a man, and I'm sold out already. Maybe Dr. Mindbender will be available. Maybe on Wednesday, just like Serpentor was. So if you don't have Dr. Mindbender yet, make sure you're logged into Hasbro Pulse on Wednesday. So if he happens to drop, you'll be all ready and can quickly check out. Don't worry about anything else. He's you're gonna pay for shipping anyway if you're not a Pulse member. But yeah, go quickly and get them. Make sure you have everything signed in, ready to go on Wednesday. Because if Serpentor is up, I'm betting they have a couple Mindbenders left too. Diddle diarrhea, no problem, man. It's all good. There's so many people confused with that. And the alliteration made it so easy. Lord for Qua, Dragon from Shrek. Okay, those are good choices. Robert's Infinite Realms. Loud and loud, feel the same when naming. Hatch's Infinite Realms is terrible. Exactly. So you got the RIR up in there. You got to go what makes sense for the name for your shows, right? Kendrick, I wouldn't mind seeing a classic Iron Fist, but it needs to be pinless and with power effect pieces. They cannot put out an Iron Fist with pins now, and he needs to have new effect pieces. We're waiting a little bit long to get this pre-order, to get the prototype reveals of Power Man and Iron Fist. They have to be a 2-pack. I mean, I don't want to get them separate, even though I can get them at the same time. I want them in a 2-pack, so I can be like, look, this cool box. It's great. Have both of them. See ya. Down the wrist, Ruiz. Yeah, the Target site app is a struggle sometimes. It is the worst. They say they don't have things in stock on the site, and then when I'm at the store, they have 5 of the figure I'm looking for. Their app, their store stuff is ridiculous. I'm trying to find the classic purple WWE Ultimate Edition Razor Ramon. Go to the site. We've got 3 in stock. And it's not even Razor. It's Mr. T or Ultimate Warrior or AJ Styles. I'm like, wrong. Their app and website is really bad sometimes. If you get lucky with something that's clearly going to be in stock, yeah, you'll find it, no problem. But good luck every other time. James Green's still waiting on my Mindbender to come in. So yeah, definitely go on Wednesday. Make sure you're up there ready. So I'm pretty sure their pre-orders have been 1 o'clock every time for these JoJo June Wednesday reveals and pre-orders. And try to be on there like 12:55 or something. Mindbender might show up again. Kidred, when DC Multiverse does do Batman Forever, I would like to get Batman in the Sonar suit and Chris O'Donnell, Robin, and Jim Carrey Riddler. Well, what about Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face? Complete the whole set. Nicole Kidman. I don't even remember her character's name, but yeah, what about her too? Being a fine figure says, let's say the Glenda tier gets unlocked. Who should be the next tier that will bring in more backers? I keep saying this, but my choice is Colonel Hawk. Hawk's original look from the original Real American Hero look, where he was just wearing classic green. Basically, they can reuse the grunt body, just give him the harness that they gave Stalker and Retro Snake Eyes. He's totally covered. Give him a crew cut, the blonde one, so he matches up with a comic book look. I think we're fine if they do that. Helmet with the visor, too, so we can incorporate that into other figures like Flash, like Grand Slam, Short Fuse, and just go with that. So, yeah, he'd be my choice. What do some of y'all want to see? 80s Kid from the 90s says DreamWorks and Illumination are the top dogs when it comes to animation. They've been doing some really great stuff lately. And after Child agrees, DreamWorks and Illuminations are kicking Disney's butt. You never know what happened because Pixar was it for so long. And it was like, why are we doing Toy Story 4? I like Toy Story 4, but it's like, come up with new stuff. I mean, let's do it. And Elemental just seemed like it should have been the sequel to Inside Out. Bert, I have Dr. Mindbender, also has Serpentor, but didn't make it in time for the Cobra Eel. I did get Scrap Iron and the Snow Serpent. I missed the old WCW NWO guys. I'm too sweet you on that one, my friend. Love that General Hawk version. The General Hawk version is amazing, and they mentioned him, and we're supposed to see him at some point. But yeah, I think there would be a mass riot if we saw him coming up as part of that tier. So you mentioned it, and let's go because we still have one more week left of these reveals on G.I. Joe, and courtesy of Black Genghis, because I just did not have the bandwidth to do this checklist on my own. Here's what's still left to show in terms of prototypes. These are characters that are still available to be revealed for pre-order come Wednesday, or we see the leaks, of course, on Tuesday night. Here's who's left. Steel Core, we've already seen them in figure form in the background of the Televipers, so we know what they look like. Firefly 2.0, the classic version, he's at the render stage, so he seems to make a lot of sense to show up in terms of one of these reveals on Wednesday. We've already seen Crimson Viper, kind of, sort of, and Shadow Tracker. These seem like the obvious choices for Wednesday's reveals, but maybe we'll see some renders, prototypes of Ripper, Buzzer, the two Dreadnoughts we know are coming so far, Chuckles, who's rumored to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, General Hawk, Tripwire, Agent Helix, Quick Kick, my man, and Big Boa, and of course, Mutt and Junkyard. And again, this checklist image comes from Black Genghis. You can follow him on Instagram. He always does some cool stuff. Really great logo there. Black Panther, G.I. Joe. Check him out. He does some really cool checklists. So definitely that's who's left up on deck unless we get a total surprise. And it's like, oh, man, didn't expect to see that one coming. Like Quicksilver. Matthew says, if it's not Jetpack Hawk, I'll be upset. They hinted at it in the promo video. They've been throwing out all kinds of sneaky hints, and I don't know what they're going to go with. I wouldn't be upset with Jetpack Hawk. I think that'd be a good use for a HasLab tier where people would be up in arms if they didn't get that version, but it'd be really fun to throw them in there, although I don't know if I'd want that Hawk first. Should I get Quantum Mania Legends or wait for Hot Toys? I don't own any Hot Toys. Well, 80s Kid from the 90s, I think if you have not gotten any Hot Toys, that Hot Toys King is going to be really good, but I think you're going to want to get more of the other Avengers. And if you have the money, they're going to look really great all together, but it's going to be much more expensive getting your Avengers collection through Hot Toys versus what I assume you already have in Hot Toys or Marvel Legends. Being a fine figure, either Hawk or Doc, I think. I had to make sure I was reading that properly so I didn't say Hawk and Dove. Matthew says I want a Colonel Hawk as a regular release. I don't think I'd be upset if they released him as a deluxe figure with the MMS mobile missile system setup. I think that would be one of those easy kind of quasi-vehicle sets that they could stock on Target shelves with no problem. I wouldn't mind that. I just want him so I can have him as part of my original 13 Joes and not have to wait forever and ever and ever to get that version of him. Kindred, I wasn't a fan of Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face. Ditto. Digital Diarrhea, they made a real good DDP figure. I'm not into wrestling figures per se, but I like to get figures of my old faves. So let me see if I can pull this up really quickly. They did have a pretty decent DDP, but it didn't work because the Nitro set just completely failed to fund. And that seemed like it was going to be a really good opportunity to get a Nitro version of him, DDP. Here's what that figure looked like. It did not get funded, didn't get the proper backing. That's what that DDP figure that was going to come look like. I think the head sculpt was really good. This was one of the two figures that were in that set that I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is a nice incentive. This is part of a good crowd fund to get this version of DDP. I think 3 other ones did not work, and that's sort of the reason why I didn't fund. But that's the Ultimate Edition version. They've also done an Elite one, did one with the short hair, done long hair. They still haven't done one with like a serious expression. So, or the jeans. So if that's your look for them, they haven't done that one yet. Mage TV, PTB. What's going on? LMF Pimpin', respect from Nashville, Tennessee. What is up, my friend? Bert says, I want the Shadow Tracker and the Crimson Viper. Did you get Arctic Viper? Arctic Bat? I think that's what you're talking about. Not yet. I'm going to, because I'm going to army build the mess out of him or it. I love snow themed characters, so for sure I'm going to get a bunch of those. I kind of want Snow Job before I start amassing this mass army of Cobra snow specialists. Tom Finn says, 80s kid, Hot Toys will be ridiculously expensive, and 12-inch figures take up a lot of room. I get the Marvel Legends version. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you got the money, go for it, because those figures are phenomenal, but there's so many figures, and then some of them get overpriced, and like the Captain America Civil War Black Widow that I want for my Civil War display. But yeah, she's too expensive. She's like twice as much as she was. I keep looking at eBay going, hey, is there a good deal? And it's like, no, keep looking. Keep on walking, as CC Peniston once said. Digital Diary or a Conan figure. That'd be rowdy, about it. Happy accident. I know the person that Agent Helix was modeled used after. True story. Cool. Yeah, share a little info if you don't mind. I thought Agent Helix was cool. One of my favorite new Joes. Kendrick, 1998. Did one of the original Joes come with a jetpack? I think Grand Slam did, so you could get him with that. I think it's so cool we're finally getting a TV series for Megamind. Megamind was all right. It's not like something I'm like, oh, great. I'm so glad they're getting one. But I'm happy that you're excited about the show coming out. Being a fine figure, there's a Legends version of the DDP Target exclusive. Yes. That DDP looked cool, except the tats. Yeah. You know what I heard? Disney, they canceled the Alien versus Predator TV show, but here's the thing, it was done. It was completed, so I'm mad what they did because it's been so long. Yeah. John Doe, just wanted to say you're one of my favorite up-and-coming toy reviewers. Straightforward and to the point. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to have a little fun, and I love interacting with you guys, so I'm a toy collector just like y'all. I'm not some expert, no influencer. I'm just like, yo, let's talk toys, and I'm loving that you guys are having fun talking with me, so thank you. Kendrick, I like to see Ninja Force, part of the classified line, like Slice and Dice. Slice and Dice were two of my favorites of the latter era Cobras. I felt like it was so unfair for Cobra to just send in hordes and hordes of faceless, nameless red ninjas to get Slice, to get Dice from Storm Shadow, from Snake Eyes, from Billy. So when Slice and Dice came in and they had personality, I was like, yes, these guys are cool. I love their design. I thought they were really cool characters. I would totally be on board with classified series versions of these guys and would love to see them earlier than like waiting 5 years from now. Great designs, great characters, and yeah, they could be part of Cobra Commander's later era high command where Destro Baroness, Zartan were all gone. So he had Zorana, Cesspool, and Slice and Dice as his heavy hitters. Yeah, I would love to get those. Being a fine figure, gotta run. Peace, everyone. Night, Jeff. Take care. Thanks for hanging out, man. Hope you had a good time chilling and hanging out with us tonight. Tom Fan 2018. Check Mandrake, Jeffrey. That's where I got my Hot Toys Winter Soldier Black Widow. That was only 2 years ago. I got it under 200. Thank you. I'm going to be on the lookout tonight because, yeah. Grand Slam version 2 came with a Jump in 1984. Jump was a lone playset in 1983. So technically, no. Jetpack didn't come with the original 13. Thank you. Figure, I mean, yeah. Thank you for that clarification because I knew Grand Slam came with it, but yeah, I wasn't sure how that setup was. So we talked G.I. Joe. Let's talk about this mysterious Marvel Legends line that just dropped on social media where we're trying to figure out who all is part of this one. So we get Agatha Harkness from WandaVision. I can't believe it's been this long. We're finally getting this figure. Getting Elena Belova from Hawkeye. Ignore this man, she's not part of the wave. There's Kingpin. He's a retool of the Happy Hogan buck. So he's got a bigger, wider torso, but that's the body they're using. Warrior Gamora from What If, and Secret Invasion, Nick Fury. So this is probably why we were delayed in seeing this wave reveal, because every other one, of course, we've seen. And then here's a better look of these two figures, at least the packaging. So there's Nick Fury, there's Kingpin, Kingpin looks pretty good. I wish they could have figured out a way to make his legs a little bit wider, but I think the new torso helps pad him out a little bit more, makes it look a little thicker and fuller. So that's a cool take. What do you guys think of Secret Invasion? You've been watching it, or at least watched the first episode. We were able to see the second one in the press, so I really like the second one. So no spoilers, but let me know if you guys like that show. Henry G, which Classified was going. Those old G.I. Joe movies were out. Yeah, would have been fun to get those figures, maybe. I just want more G.I. Joe TV movies. I feel like live action would be really great because they don't have to do too much with today's technology. I love a cartoon that was a little bit older, just a little bit. I don't need them to go super hard and killing every character off. Maybe more like the Masters of the Universe 2000, which it was mature for us back then in 2000, which, wow, was so long ago now, but still keeping the charm of the old school stuff. 80s kid from the 90s. I'm hoping we get more Secret Invasion comic figures. That 2-pack was really good. So, yeah, I would hope we see more of those too. Nick Fury looks okay, but I might pass. I did not know the show came out. Yeah, it just dropped yesterday. So you haven't been missing it for weeks on weeks. It just came out. But it's really good. I like the first episode. Happy accident. Who else besides moi down for Classified Battle Force 2000? I would be fine with Classified Battle Force 2000, but I feel like so much of them is linked to their vehicles. So without the vehicles, I don't know how excited I'd be without them. I guess DJ is a solo version. He's the single pack character for Battle Force 2000, but I would need them with their vehicles. So unless it came with them, but if they did, I'd be down for them. Kindred, do you know back in the 90s there was going to be an animated alien show, the Kindred's Toys? They did wear a tie-in for that show that never came out. Yeah, I mean, of the shows that I think and look back on, like, how did they make it so out of this? Rambo has to be number one. I mean, I was all about the Rambo show. I had the figures of all the characters. And then I watched the movies like, oh my gosh, how did they get away with making a Rambo cartoon? And yeah, 86 from the 90s. I love Secret Invasion. It was so cool. Roberts, I'm making that Fury. And I read from Paul Harding on Twitter. He said, don't worry, he's not a cone figure. You can open up the trench coat to get some movement. So it's not a thing where he's just stuck. You have to do him like Mon Mothma. You could actually get some good movement out of him, which was really good to see and hear because I was like, he's not going to have any movement with that setup. The first episode, I liked the Secret Invasion. The rest figures I'll pass on. Yeah. John Doe, it's a nice change of pace from the typical MCU fare. We needed more shows, movies like Winter Soldier. That's what I thought. I felt like I was watching a sequel to Winter Soldier. I was like, yeah, I'm digging this. Kind of like the same path of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where it's more intrigue and not so obvious what's going on. And the second episode is just as good. And I can't wait to see what's going down on episode 3 when it catches up to where I am. But yeah, I can't wait for you guys to watch that one too. Blake Tarpley says the unknown figure from that wave is a Goliath from What If. I think the Bill Foster. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne mentioned that he wasn't done, and he did some voice acting for Bill Foster. That'll be really cool to see him in action since we did not get to see him get big and start moving people around as Black Goliath. That would have been really fun to see in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I understand why they couldn't go that route. But yeah, it'd be really cool to see him in action, super tall and super big. After Child, the only thing I know and I've been hearing the Super Skrulls in that show. Yeah, it was fun. So yeah, they're hanging around. They're in the MCU and doing some mischievous things now. Doomsday 2. I don't know why am I sure I'm saying this. Doomsday 219. I'm really surprised that there's not been an animated series for G.I. Joe in so long. You'd think that Netflix or someone put one out, or Paramount. That's their network, their brand. I mean, I would sign up for a Paramount subscription if they had a G.I. Joe cartoon, live action, or just the occasional movie. Because I feel like, back in the day, we get hyped up when they did 5 episodes and made a movie out of them. Like, ooh, I want all the figures. I don't know why Paramount hasn't done that. Like, hey, Hasbro, let's do this. Let's partner up. Let's make a cartoon movie, 5 with 10 classified series figures you want to showcase. We'll do that. Take that. I'll watch it. I'll get a subscription to Paramount Plus, guaranteed. Classified Sigma 6. G.I. Joe turn the tide. Wherever the mission, G.I. Joe's there. I wouldn't mind seeing the Sigma 6 designs in Classified series too. I was really, really happy with those. Those were cool figures, and I kind of regret selling them off or trading them off because those were really cool figures. Happy Accidents with a Sigma 6. Really cool figures. Now that Marvel owns the comic book rights to Alien and Predator and Alien vs. Predator, they should do Alien vs. Predator versus Marvel and should be bloody and gory. Does Marvel know another way to do stories these days? Kelly Cox. Jeff, you had the old Rambo figures from Coleco. Yes. So did I. Love weapons. Yes. That line was fun. I had so many of them. I was like, yo, I used to put them up against my A team. So that was fun too. 80s Kid from the 90s said, I hope they hire the writers and directors from Secret Invasion for Kang Dynasty. Yeah, they're going to take a little while because it's this writer strike. Make a part where Captain America and the Predator battling on top of Avengers Tower. Oops, Cap's spine out with his head still intact and takes his shield as a trophy. We can't get rid of my boy Steve Rogers or Sam Wilson like that. That'd be terrible. Battle Force 2000 somewhat got me back to G.I. Joe in my teen years, but I'm not so sure of classified versions. Robert, that's interesting. I feel like people were like, whoa, these are going too far. But that's interesting. I'm curious to see why they did it for you. Snow Glare. Netflix, G.I. Joe will be canceled after one season, guaranteed. That's what I'm thinking. Paramount's the way to go. They've got all these Star Trek series. And I think if they were invested in a G.I. Joe series, because of default, we don't have enough shows, they would keep that thing going. But Netflix, I don't know what they're doing. They won't share ratings on anything anyway. They're just like, sorry. But yeah, I think Paramount would be a way to get some more G.I. Joe product, live action out there for us. Tom Finn, how does 112 plus shipping for Hot Toys Black Widow grab me? Send me the link, please. I may grab it tonight. John Doe, Falcon and Winter Soldier was good, but the main villain was a little disappointing. It would have been better if it was a comic version of Taskmaster Serpent Society. Or if they did more of the comic book version of Flag Smasher, I think that would have been cool to see that costume in the MCU. It's not too complicated, not too complex. And it's a really nice look. I keep wondering we're going to see that comic version in Marvel Legends. Kind of like, hey, remember that character that was named in the MCU? You can get the comic version. I think that'd be for a really striking figure with the color contrast. It would just look cool. 80s Kid from the 90s. I regret selling my Sigma 6 Duke. He was so cool. Yeah, see, I was like, I only have so much space. I got to get rid of this line if I'm going to get this new one. And I feel like now I have a little bit more space, a little bit more room. Like, oh, I'm so upset that I got rid of that line. For sure, I'm with you on that one. All right, let's see. So we got the Marvel Legends. We talked about them. Let's go back a little bit because there were some more figures from McFarlane they showed off as well. And with this Superman, I just totally got lost. It's the new Blue Beetle movie wave, and these figures look really good. And I think one thing it's going for this Blue Beetle wave is it's pretty close to the comic book look. Yeah, it's a little bit movie up with a little bit more detail than the comic book figures, but I think it's really good. I think this will stand in quite nice for a comic book version Blue Beetle. It's a really nice looking sculpt, tons of detail. You see it in the wings too, little texture pattern, and the armor. This is why McFarlane Toys does so well with me because they put the effort into the sculpt, and he's got a little pose in there. Looks good, but of course, being McFarlane, it's like, you want some extras here? You're gonna pay for it by a whole other figure, and this one has different accessories, so it's not the same thing. No wings with this one. It looks really cool with this big honking sword, so that's nice. But yeah, you kind of wish the elbow joint wasn't just hanging loose like that. But I think it's a really nice looking sculpt. Great detail again. The backpack is just locked in place. Got the sword going, and two little spheres to hold on. Kind of looks like he took a trip through Wakanda, borrowed some tech from the Dora Milaje. It looks cool. Got the cannon going too. So lots of cool stuff. Actually, let me check. No, this is the cannon, not the backpack. I said that totally wrong. So yeah, nice looking figure. Great accessories. You kind of wish that were all in the same figure though. Then we got the mega fig of the villain Carapax. And Carapax looks cool. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. You Blue Beetle experts out there, let me know if I'm not. But again, another well-designed figure. This kind of looks like it's standing for Super Metroid, for those of you back in the day who love that. But I think it's a really nice looking figure. So you know it's going to be $39.99. Probably get a little bit cheaper as time goes on, but nice design for it. So I'm looking forward kind of to the movie, but you know eventually it's not going to matter, just like everything else in the DCU, until we finally get around to that new updated one from Peter Safran and James Gunn in 2025. Snow Glare, the space race never ends. And Robert's Infinite Realms, I could never get with Sigma 6. They had very different designs. So if you're in a classic G.I. Joe, I get why you wouldn't like them, but I kind of dug it. Is there going to be a season 2 for Immunite? Because I'm on, to be honest, Moonlight TV show is the only Marvel show I really like. The Moon Knight TV show, really? That's interesting. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that just yet because they're trying to work all the other stuff. And Moon Knight, yeah. I don't know. They haven't said anything about it. John Doe, did you watch Flash? I did. I like Flash. I understand why people didn't dig it because Ezra Miller's issues, and they told us it doesn't matter. So I guess that's why. I mean, if you tell people this isn't gonna work, this isn't gonna matter, don't get attached to it, and it's part of a long-running series of movies that a lot of people did enjoy. I know Spy was thing to bash the Snyderverse, but yeah, I understand why people did not want to go see it in droves like DC Warner Brothers was hoping, but I enjoyed it. Anyone else get Mezco 112 Destro? That figure looks great. Can't wait to see the Firefly and Storm Shadow in live action and have them in hand because they look great. Kendrick, I had the Sigma 6 toys when I was a kid. I had the whole Wave 1. Snake Eyes the first one I got. Really fun figures. I bought Mint and Box Duke back in 2014 and got rid of it in 2016 because I was hopeful we'd get a 6-inch line. I'm glad I was right, but I need classic Duke. Hopefully coming soon. Kelly Cox. Blue Beetle's not the same figure as a 2-pack with Booster Gold. No, it's a totally different character. The one in the 2-pack is Ted Cord. This one is Jaime Reyes. So totally different characters, totally all around. So yeah, definitely a better character. I'm not say better. They work as two totally different characters. Like Ted Cord was totally different from the original Dan Garrett Blue Beetle. Snow Glare. I feel like wings and arm cannons are both essential for Jaime. Good thing I already have one with both. Which one? The DC Icons? That was a really great figure. Can Blue Beetle shrink grow? No, not this one. He stays the normal height. Basically, his beetle that's attached to him back to his back, his scarab, is a super armament system where it channels, creates different weapons to help Jaime fight. And that's what's going on with him. That's where you see the cannons, the wings, the weapons that he comes up with. So that's his deal. He's a really good figure or character, and I think the movie will be good, but they're saying, oh, it's going to be part of the DCU now. I think the damage has been done. People are going to be like, yeah, sure, it's part of the DCU, and people aren't going to want to go see it. Kindred, I think it's for the best that the DC Extended Universe or the Snyderverse be rebooted and start from scratch because some of the movies had studio involvement or actor demands like Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, it got a little bit too much, and they were trying to do so much. I feel like their problem was they just didn't copy what MCU did and just do that with DC characters. I feel like they had just done that. People go, you gotta just copy Marvel. And they were like, yeah, but Marvel made $1 billion movies or $1 billion movies. What's the point? Snow Glare. Yeah, I loved Icons. Seriously. We've gotten so many lines if you collect DC figures over the years where it's been Marvel Legends Toy Biz, Marvel Legends Hasbro. But DC has had so many different scales, so many different figure options. I really, really love the Icons line. And I wish that they'd just done like 5 more waves. I feel like people would have just been like, yeah, I'm all about DC Icons now. But because they stopped short, people just kind of fell out of love with them. But those are really good figures. And I'm not selling those off just because I'm really happy with them. James Green, yes, that Destro is great. I pre-ordered Firefly. Can't wait for him to come. Dwayne Johnson refused to fight Shazam, wouldn't allow any of the characters in the Black Adam movie to be associated with Shazam, so he's very strict about it. I don't know how they let him have that much power. That's crazy. I mean, I love The Rock. I think Dwayne was cool bringing in Superman, but how do you let one actor say what's going to happen for your entire movie universe? Terrible. I have a feeling Blue Beetle will sell tickets. People love Cobra Kai, not to mention it looks fun too. I love Cobra Kai. So great. It's the best way to do a nostalgia thing. James, that Firefly is crazy. Enjoys. Yeah, Kelly. Awesome. The Rock wouldn't job like Hulk Hogan did for him. Ironic. I don't mean it's like I don't understand. He pulled the wrong power play, and I just don't get it. Afterchild, I really would love to see McFarlane do Elastigirl and Giganta. Yeah, and I guess Megan Figs would work for both of them. I wouldn't mind them being a little bit taller though. What's the rumor about the way of Bill Foster? We just talked about it, that he's the part of it and he's in the What If series. And especially they did Henry Cavill dirty thanks to James Gunn. Henry Cavill was great as Superman, and I don't understand why we just can keep rolling with him in other arguably better Superman movies. Doomsday. DC started off on the wrong foot. When after Avengers, DC started to rush out Batman, Superman, Justice League movies without taking the time to set up DC. Exactly. What's the rush? You just keep making movies. You don't have to play catch up to Marvel. Just take your time. People would love to see Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, individual movies. You probably get away doing a Green Arrow movie out of the success of Arrow on the CW. I don't know why they rushed to kill Superman off, and it just messed things up. Who wins in the bar brawl? Says Happy Accident. The Atom or Ant-Man? Man, that's interesting. Ant-Man, because he would have the ants gathering from the bar to grab Ray Palmer and just start beating him down. That's where I'm going. Kidra, see you later, bud. Oh, okay. Matthew Madsen. Cavill's the greatest Superman who never played Superman. What do you watch Superman and Lois? Because I really love Tyler Hoechlin, however you say his last name. I think he really does a great Superman, and I think he plays that role so well. He's built like Henry Cavill. I would demand he played Superman in anything going forward and a lot on the big screen. Thank you, appreciate you. Hola, bros. What's up, TCP Toys? Did you see that Superman 2-pack? Yes, we've seen that atrocity, and it's a nightmare, to quote C-3PO. It's for everybody who came in late. Yes, it's terrible and quite terrible. I love Superman and Lois. I figured you would. You and I seem to be on the same wavelength with Superman, and oh my gosh, I'm behind on this season. I'm still watching, writing my review, and posting them, so I'm super slow because I'm trying to keep up with all these figure reviews. But I just watched the episode where Lana and Lois are talking about going to Bazumba's, and he comes in, oh, you're talking about the wings place? And they're like, nobody goes there for the wings. I'm like, this is why he's such a great Superman. Nice. Yes. Bert, I did read that they're redoing a cartoon show called Cops figures again. I think that's Boss Fight Studios. I really love Cops. I really love those figures. So hopefully they're good, because a good Cops figure line would be good. Of course, they probably couldn't do the pop gun effects anymore, because that would be trouble now. DC is like a football team who just got the best coach. You talking about James Gunn? You like his stuff? That's good. I hope they're really good after Guardians, because, Guardians Volume 3 was really great. And if he can do that for the DC universe, they were in for a really good ride. TCP Toys. How you feel about the 2-pack? Instead of looking at DreamWorks, and Shrek did him. Yeah, and then put him through the bad CGI machine. He was terrible. Did I see the Flash movie? Yes. I like the Flash movie. I know some people didn't like it, and then a lot of people didn't see it, as evidenced by its really, really weak box office. Superman and Lois was approved for a short in season 4. And they gutted all the supporting cast. I did not love the Lana Kyle drama, but as the season's been playing out, I kind of like the fact that the supporting cast is doing more. Now, they're not going to be series regulars, which is probably good, because they don't need to bring in every supporting character in every episode. So, they're in half of it. That's fine. But yeah, I really love that show. And especially this season, I think it's one of the best superhero TV show seasons we've seen since they've been doing them. But really good stuff. You did not like how they portrayed Lex Luthor. Season 4 Titans was terrible. Oh, man. See, I was holding out on that, because I'm like, all right, summer's coming, and I'm not going to have a lot of new shows to watch. I'm going to save Titan Season 4. But I really did not love Titan Season 3. I really loved the first 3 episodes, and I was like, whoa, what is happening with this season? And Scarecrow being the big villain the entire time, it's like, come on. He's a 5-episode villain at best. And the fact that they stretched him out for an entire season, I was so good. Bert, or am I going to see Indiana Jones? Am I going to see Indiana Jones 5? All right, so everybody in the DMV, I put up a giveaway so you can get passes to see it. I don't know. I may not be able to get out to the screenings, which means I'm probably going to wait until it comes to Disney Plus before I see it, but I will review it. The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull kind of scarred me from future James or Indiana Jones films, but I'm sure I'll eventually see it. TCB Toys, I thought it was a good, bad movie. Please elaborate. Let me know what you think. I really want to know, is Hasbro going to do Wolverine for Deadpool 3? Yeah, I mean, it's Wolverine. I could not imagine them not doing him. Jordan was such an annoying character. He is. I don't know what their play is with Jordan, but he's kind of whiny, and then he's dogging out my boy Jonathan. Just not happy with him. Time to pull the pin. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Kelly. Appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome weekend, too. Matthew says Titan Season 4 was the only one that had a true Dick Grayson, but it was bad. Y'all are not encouraging me to watch that. But I kind of like the fact that Dick Grayson was Robin, and then he became Nightwing. I actually liked Titan Season 2. I thought that was really good, but then it went off a cliff big time. Happy Accent, what do you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp 3? I found it entertaining. I was entertained. I just feel like they went down this wrong path. They're trying to do the multiverse. I said several times, I think Secret Invasion would have made for a better overarching theme for Phase 4. Then in Phase 5, they could have done the Thunderbolts in Phase 4, then go to Secret Invasion in Phase 5. I don't think enough people care about the multiverse. I thought it was really weird that Ant-Man and Wasp were the ones that beat Kang without really much of an explanation. But I had fun with the movie. I didn't like they did Starfire on the floor. Didn't like they did Starfire in the show. She's more like Batgirl. Yeah, she need to fly around more, do some cooler stuff. I wish they brought back John Cryer for Lex Luthor. Woo! I didn't like the fact that he had a goatee. I'm like, what the heck? What are we doing? Shave everything. He's clean shaven. Who played the best Joker? I'm not going to count whatever's going on in Matt Reeves' The Batman. No for that. So then it's Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson. Going to go with Heath Ledger because Jack Nicholson overwhelmed Batman with his Joker. He was really good, but I kind of like that wild, crazy side of Heath Ledger's portrayal, and he was really good. And that's why The Dark Knight is one of my favorite films. I don't like the VFX effects in the Flash movie. I like the CW effects better. The lightning bolts and the lightning lightsaber is kind of weird on that. But yeah, I'm with you. Jonathan's a good character. I like Lana's character. She's cool. Superman feels silent. They can't have him flying around all the time, but when they do use him, he's really cool. And I think when they save the money for Superman effects, he looks like Superman going into action. And I think they do a really good job there. I didn't like the young Ezra version. That dude was so annoying in the movie. He was supposed to be. And I think they did a good job on that. Heath Ledger, very cool. Oh, see, I know you like the Matt Reeves 180s kid, but that was a long Batman movie for me. And I just felt like all he was doing was, hey, let me show you guys how cool I do my version of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. One of the things we're going to talk about, because this is super cool, and it's already on wait list, is the Mezco 112 version of the Green Power Ranger. This looks really, really good. Fighting puppies. He's got his blade. He's about to call in his Zord. Really great looking figure. I just thought they knocked this sucker out. Got all his gear here. Really great action. Looks like he hit some really great poses too. And let's see here. I don't know why I keep having problems with this slideshow. But yeah, he's hitting some great poses. And this figure looks amazing. Going into action. Really cool. I'm trying to show this Tommy head sculpt because that looks really great too. So much better than the Super 7 one. It's like, yo, this is how to do it. And as always from Mezco, lots of really great accessories. Really good looking figure. Hopefully they'll put it back up for everybody to get it again. Bert, here's a good question. Marvel or DC? I feel like it depends on my mood. If I want classic, great superhero stuff, I tend to gravitate more towards DC. If I want the real world characters and they go on fantastic adventures, then I'm all about Marvel. The John Byrne, Chris Claremont era of X-Men, awesome. Kurt Busiek, George Perez version of Avengers, awesome. John Byrne, Fantastic Four, really great stuff. So those are what I gravitate towards. Jeff Johns, basically anything DC, awesome. So it really depends on my mood. Matthew, The worst thing about the Flash movie was the Flashes. The Batmans were the best, especially except the last one. Yeah. I mean, people were like acting so hyped up to see the last Batman. I'm like, y'all hated that one. I still hate that movie. Why y'all acting like y'all are so excited? I wish we had like a standalone Ben Affleck Batman movie. I really loved. I feel like he was the best Batman in the sense of how he portrayed Ben or how he portrayed Bruce Wayne and Batman. I feel like all the other ones are either really good doing one or the other, but I feel like he was the one that captured both of them very well. Go Green Ranger, go! Yes, Beast Boy, the show isn't fully green. The writers don't know Raven's power in the show. In season 4, there's a Bruce and Selena reference. Ugh, pain. Bert the 3-0 Firefly is awesome. Yeah, they did a really nice job too. Afterchild. I would really like a Transformers movie masterpiece, Lockdown from the 4th film and a score Dread the Beast. I feel like they're doing all those figures, so eventually we'll probably see them. The show is basically like a Bat family show instead of Teen Titans. And that's the problem. I mean, like the whole season 3 is like, here's Scarecrow, and they're fighting Red Hood. It's like the Titans have really great villains. Focus on them, please. Just, and then we're focusing on, we're doing a Gotham Knights TV show that no one asked for or wanted. Matthew, you're with me too. See, we're right here with our DC stuff, man. Ben was great. I wish he got his movie. Ben knows Batman. Can you imagine how great that Batman versus Slade Wilson, the Terminator film would have been? Yeah, that would have been awesome. I just feel like we got so jobbed out of seeing that one, watching the Snyder cut with the tease of him fighting him. It's like, please do that. Bert, did you like any of the new Transformers releases? I think for collectors who like all the different generations, they did some really great looking figures and some like, oh, that looks cool. I just stick to G1 figures, and there's still plenty that I want to see. I will tell you, I'm super annoyed that we're getting the shot up version of Ironhide and Prowl. That's not my favorite moment in any Transformers anything. It's like, no. And I still need a regular Prowl figure. I'm kind of annoyed that they re-released the Prowl and did a repainted, killed version of him. And I still need to get a classic one to hang with the rest of my Legacy or Cybertron figures because they're too expensive to track down on their own. 80s Kid from the 90s are looking forward to Transformers 40th anniversary next year. They got major stuff planned. Well, I hope they have some good figures. I still need a Hound. There's still way too many figures that I need in figure form from them. Lockdown's the best villain in the Bayverse. He had a cool design and theme song that looks so cool and menacing. There's not a lot of cool things to me in the Bayverse outside the G.I. Joe cameos that appeared in every edition of Bay's Transformers, with Josh Duhamel and Tyrese playing Hawk or Duke and Stalker, basically. And then it was like, hey, we're just throwing these guys in here. In the show, everyone in Star Labs knows their identities and Batman identity as well. That's terrible. I got Ironhide. It's awesome. Yeah, I had that Ironhide too. So I'm like, do a studio series Prowl before he gets killed. Thank you. So yeah, that was that. All right, well, guys, is there anything else y'all want to talk about? Because I'm about to wind it down. But as always, I want to talk if you guys want to. So let's see. Is there anything else that I didn't cover, didn't talk about? What figures do you want to see showing up in Classified Series next week on the pre-orders based off what we've already seen? Just as a recap refresher for everybody, here is what the likely viable options are for what we're going to see. Pull this picture back up, just make it easy for me, of what we could probably expect to see coming from Hasbro tomorrow or next Wednesday. Damn, so there we go. One more time. Steel Core, Firefly, Crimson Viper, Shadow Tracker, Ripper, Buzzer, Chuckles, Hawk, Tripwire, Agent Helix, Quick Kick, Big Boa, Mutton Junkyard. I'd love to see Mutton Junkyard, Quick Kick, and General Hawk. Those would be the three I want to see. But let's see. They butchered Mother Mayhem and Brother Blood. Did you? I mean, when I heard they were going to be the villains, I'm like, they can't possibly do those characters right. So I'm not shocked or remotely surprised they dropped the ball on them. All right. Going to read the Moon Knight comic. I need to check it out. I really do. Oh, we get a proper definitive version of G1 Prime. Me too. Thanks, LFF. Peace and good night. All right, fellas. Thank y'all so much for rolling with me. I appreciate it as always. You know, I'll be back on Wednesday, talking about those G.I. Joe classified series new drops for the final installment of Yojo June. And then we start to count down to San Diego Comic-Con and what kind of reveals we're going to see there. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll be posting some more videos, lots of video unboxings, rest of the Power Towns, Super 7 Quicksilver coming up. So stay tuned. As always, thank you. This episode allows Figure Files